What's up, Army? Welcome back to Redemption 46 Studios. I'm Nick.
And I'm Curtis.
Y'all know the vibes. Y'all seen the picture. Y'all seen the thumbnail. Y'all know why y'all here. BTS, Rain. Why don't y'all rain on that subscribe button and become a real redeemer today? Also, for more content like this, jump on the Patreon. It's going to be the live performance of Rain up on there today. We literally did 24/7 equals heaven. The Sechita stuff is up there. RM Live and Soul is up on there. Mama 2020 literally just dropped on there today. And some more BTS content is on there. And also a couple of bonus content. We back on our rise, and some other little secret gems is up on there. But yeah, Kurt, this is also like on Dark and Wild. Another B-side, I guess. But they also have the live performance this and everything too, I seen. So
Awesome.
Interested to check out the rest of this album.
Not just rain, thunder.
Kind of makes sense.
달리는 차들 서방에 꿈틀대는 우산들 날씨는 흐림 공기는 맑음
I love that line too.
왜 여기 멈췄었을까 생각이 많은 건지 없는 건지 잘 몰라 바깥이 환해졌을 때쯤 잠에서 깨 피곤해지던 손으로 연신머리를 쓸었대 지난밤 완성치 못한 노래의 메모장 오늘은 끝낸다는 조금 갖고 한숨 푹 쉬어보네 뭐라 변덕해 말 지어보네 어차피 못한 거 그냥 아무 말이나 지어보네 시선을 돌린 창밖은 또 회색빛 회색실 회색 빌딩 회색 유리 회색빛
The syllable rhymes.
세상 모든 게 누려 잠을 속에 인생 자꾸 말끝이 흐려 저 없는 냉장고 또 유럽 가다도 밀려온 할 수 없는 허전함에 일단 나를 야겠다고 생각하지 우산도 하나 없이 선명해 이들이 세상에 닿는 소리 피식 웃음 최고의 배경음악 미친놈처럼 콧노래를 하는 거란다 비가 오는 짙은 세상 그 위에 여전히 잠 못 이루는 내가 그려지네 저 비가 그쳤고 물 위에 비춰진 오늘따라 또 초라한 내가 그려지네 oh, 비 내리는 밤 창문을 놓고 하는 비는 때리지 마음을 시큰한 어깨를 잡고 확인한 문자 친구의 안부 문자는 나를 감성해줬기에 만들지 눅눅한 빗방울의 향기 맡으며 기계를 다음난 화장실로 간뒤 잠에서도 갱고 속 내게 인사한데 만날 사람도 없는데 괜히 더 길게 샤워를 하지 숙소 가기 전에 비는 내리네 갈 곳도 딱히 없는데 우산을 챙긴 채 처벅처벅거려 정처 없이 떨어워진 신발에 비는 존재를 알리듯 흔적을 새기네 이처럼 난 너에게 빛처럼 흔적을 새긴 사람일까 그게 아니라면 갑자기 내린 소나기처럼 그저 왔다 가는 존재는 아닐까 비가 오는 짙은 세상 그 위에 여전히 잠
Sounds breathy.
내가 그려지네 저 비가 그쳤고 이 물 위에 비춰진 오늘따라 또 초라한 내가 그려지네 조용하다고 느낄 쯤 창문을 볼 때 내 몸을 예상이라도 한듯
J
Never heard
Hope.
Hope with this kind of voice before too. I don't
창문에
think.
맺혀 있는 빗물들 바라보면
That was
느끼지
beautiful.
마치 내 맘속을 흐른 눈물들 미묘한 지로 밖을 보면 내 상황 같은 선율같이 내리는 비에 모두 다 한단테 준비를 하고 나가 내 인상처럼 구겨진 우산을 쫙 펴고 걸음의 빗소리를 듣는 순간 이 비는 누구 위에서 내리는 걸까 쓸쓸한 회색 시멘트 위 부딪혀 때리는 춤 비가 오는 짙은 세상
Cookie. I hear Cookie in the background.
Shannon. record scratch in the back?
It's a good touch on it though, because the beat feels so kind of like jazzy and kind of like club, kind of like grown man club vibes and shit, for real. But those scratches and kind of the reverbs that they were doing makes it feel so like hip hop centric still.
It's a good blend.
Yeah, it's a great blend because it sounds almost like a jazz nightclub kind of feel, but it's like you're getting rap still in it. So like the aesthetic is already kind of set, grown in a nice mood. Ironically, kind of that rain mood. But it's just like kind of the rap is so hip hop. And it blends well with a lot that was going on here. This is beautiful. I'll go as far as to say this is a perfect track for me. In the sense of so RM, like he, especially for a lot of the earlier projects and probably moving forward, always does a very good job with kind of setting the tone of the song. I thought he did that excellent here. When Suge came on, the energy was the energy and shit. If y'all know how I feel about Suge, kind of the kind of rap cadence stuff he does when he comes on, but I thought he did a good job of having a different cadence than RM, so it brought a little bit of different flavor to the track. The stuff that J-Hope did, this is a very early iteration of hearing, I guess, him do, I want to say like a harmonization that kind of turned into a melodic like sound for his rapping, and then he kind of got aggressive as soon as like the first two bars were kind of done. So I thought like that was very dope and unique. They did kind of their standard thing that they do on here as far as the vocal goes, as far as like, okay, we'll give it to like JK and V first, and then give it to Jimin and Jin, and kind of let them kind of parallel. But towards the tail end of this, like JK just started kind of like just doing what he does, and then those Jimin runs were just like, I do think V's voice was perfect on here because of that jazz sound and kind of just how bassy like his voice is.
I love the somberness of his voice too.
Yeah, like it's these are like those kind of beats where these beats and V are like kind of a perfect marriage. Also with Jin, like I thought he brought like a lot of power. I wanted a little bit more like from him, but I can tell at the end it was hard to kind of get any more vocal in because of the runs that Cookie and Jimin had been doing towards the tail end of this. But this was dope. I'm very interested to see this live, just because I kind of want to see, you know how we kind of always say on here, y'all, just the vocal run that is going to happen. I kind of want to see that. I want to see what Hope does live as far as him kind of being able to kind of do that melodic flow kind of as soon as we get into everything. But this was super dope. I'll let you get into like more of the lyrics and everything like that. But I do love how lyrically they can turn anything into kind of like just a little story. Yeah. Or some like, I was just putting my sneaks on. I saw it was raining outside, and then kind of symbolize that and turn it into just a whole nother thing. But I'm gonna let you get your clip off and get into that. But this is a good joint. I'm really hyped. I can't wait to get into the live.
Nah, for sure. Definitely. Like I definitely agree, and everything that they were doing within the rap aspects of everything, I thought it conveyed so well. In the sense that it was like I love RM's verse and everything. He's kind of talking about just kind of how he's able to kind of put you in that mood where it's like almost like just going outside and almost feeling like you almost feel such a discomfort inside, even if you like may have no plans or anything, and you somehow decide to go outside. And he even says like without an umbrella or anything. There's almost a comfort seemingly in kind of embracing the rain around you, almost as though it's like a comforting like acceptance. Feels like when it's if it's a bright and sunny day and everyone's out and at the picnic or at a playground or something, and you're like sad or depressed or not connecting to the world around you, you might feel kind of further alienated almost in a way, seeing people out and about and being happy, and then kind of there's that moment where it's like and I love the writing of this line specifically, and I know it was something that I believe Jin and V were trading off on respectively in the pre-chorus. But just that idea of like the rain has kind of calmed, and I'm staring at my reflection in like the puddle on the ground. And I just feel that's such a great use of imagery to kind of convey everything, because it's like, and it also kind of parallels back to what was said about like before you go out, when you wake up and you look yourself in the mirror. I believe it was V's part. I could be mistaken. But
Did
waking
you need
up.
This?
Yeah, just one sec.
Okay, I got
but
you.
it was looking at V waking up basically. I believe it was his part at least. Waking up and looking yourself in the mirror and basically saying, I look a bit more miserable today. Like even just having those moments where you almost don't recognize yourself or recognize something falling within yourself, kind of. As far as, so the way they use the self-reflection aspect, from one aspect being like I'm waking up, I'm seeing myself in the mirror, not feeling myself, feeling depressed, whatever. And then that other side of the coin where it's kind of like I'm outside, it's raining, the rain settled a little bit, but in that puddle I'm seeing myself, and somehow there's a comfort in that. And it almost kind of made me think a little bit of RM's album with the whole Moonchild thing, where it's like, when everything kind of fades away, and honestly Forever Rain as well. There's something comforting. Yeah, there's something comforting about the rain aspect. And honestly, I don't know which came first, Rain or Forever Rain in that respect, but I do feel like those two songs are probably correlated in some way.
Probably this.
Yeah, okay, so Forever Rain then would kind of make sense
Yeah.
as far as tying back into this. So that's an interesting catch if that happens to be true.
So I'm pretty sure Forever Rain was.
Yeah, but nonetheless,
the
it's just, I
second
remember almost the imagery kind of in Forever Rain of like, being able to cry in the rain and kind of mask your tears because of the rain that's falling around you, and just almost feeling like it's like a safe haven in a sense. It's the way that and Moonchild kind of tie in. It just really gave me mono vibes, I suppose, or rather mono vibes were kind of feel like they were talking about this very well. But I really loved the lyricism and the poetry in how that was conveyed. Something really deep did kind of hit me in Suge's verse as well. When he's talking about, he basically said, with the pain in my shoulder, basically I look at my phone and then kind of see that text, for how are you doing these days? Basically that, that someone trying to rekindle some kind of relationship or connection with you. But the fact that he said like my sore shoulder and everything, and knowing that he had that accident, and I'm 95% sure that wasn't public at the time, so it just kind of felt like that whole artist like internalizing their pain and their grief and kind of just putting it on the page. And I don't even know, to be honest, if the members, at least at this time, had been aware of that or anything, because I know there was a moment where I believe Bang had said something like, yo, if we had known or something, we would have like let you know, but he was like fearful that he would have been kicked out or something. So I'm imagining kind of Yoongi at the time, and especially if they're doing intense choreo or kind of elevating those levels to where it's like these things are hurting me in some regard, and I'm not able to fully kind of express that the way I want to. And of course I could be taking that different things and kind of mashing them together and getting a whole different context, of course, but nonetheless that it really made that line stand out to me. And I know we had seen runs where it's like he would MC and kind of things of that nature, but I don't know if there was any notice around that particular time or those earlier times.
All this is to add a little bit to what you're asking. All of this was in 2014. Okay. So even the surgery and everything didn't take place until 6 years from later on.
Yeah.
So the way that they always tell the story and the way Suge tells it, and Army, y'all can fill in the blanks, makes it seem like he kind of hid it for years. Yeah. I'm not sure what all members knew,
I could be wrong, but I believe that was mentioned in the Rise episodes as well, if I'm not mistaken.
It seems like he was given most of the information about the whole wanting to quit and the shoulder thing to the members all at that time. Like I said, maybe y'all know if RM maybe knew and maybe other people didn't know, or so. But I feel you just on there. I felt like that was something that was also hidden, either from some of the members and just all of Hybe until later on. But that's just off of what we seen on the Rise and on the that wasn't a festa, but I think just that conversation they were having when they were drinking, talking with each other.
Yeah, definitely. And it just kind of gave me like those kind of implications, and just like trying to put myself in the much like how we checked out Adult Child, and we're like, oh wow, they're approaching that age now, and it was just like completely coincidental. Knowing that kind of hearing this now and hearing like just a little bit of that line or that topic being addressed, and kind of what we had seen, in the present, where it's like, we reacted to it, and it's like, oh, Suge wasn't at that Mama performance because he was doing he was getting his shoulder work on. So it's just, it kind of weirdly correlated, and nonetheless.
Definitely, because we did all today. So.
No, exactly. So that was something that just kind of like was fresh on my mind, I suppose, to kind of where that line jumped out like a lot more. But nonetheless, I mean, the poetry kind of in all those things that was expressed, I definitely enjoyed a lot. And then, aside from, the vocal runs at the end, particularly, from Cookie and from Jimin, were really, really incredible. I do think it could have been serviced well with V and Jin as well if they had those respective moments as well. For those things, but especially because I know the power in Jin's voice and the somberness in V's, to where they could have portrayed that in such a way as well. But I do think it sounded incredible with what they did with Cookie and Jimin as well, at least for that particular later run. And again, we always talk about this in music, but it's just, when you're able to have your pain and your aggression kind of with the words that you're trying to use as almost a venting aspect in the rap aspects, and then the emotion and kind of the belting of the notes as like that release, that catharsis, if you will. In those respects, at the tail end of tracks, in vocal runs and such, I just feel like the way they blend that, in general is just so amazing, and it always certainly resonates on that deeper level, for me at least.
I agree 1,000%. And just to double down on what you're saying, I think we talk about it often here that the four members have things that are unique about each of their voices, and each of them, like when you pair them together, complement each other so well. Obviously, to most Army who pays attention like to all the songs, that really their voices. With that being said, all their unique skill sets don't dictate the limitations of their voice, if that makes sense. Yeah. So where it's just like, even if you think Jimin, has like the best falsetto or something, that doesn't mean he can't get bassy, or, he can't hit other register notes that some of the other members can. Jin has a lot of power, but that doesn't mean he can't hold back at times and kind of, get deeper if he wants to, and do kind of other thing. Yeah, what I mean? He has like really strong chest voice, but that doesn't mean like his head voice doesn't sound good at all, or he can't take it to that level. As much vibrato that we talk about V has, he also can have good head voice and get real breathy and do certain things too. JK is a vocal god. He almost can do at an elite level almost everything that everyone else kind of can do in the group. And I mean that respectfully. I just think kind of he seems to kind of train more on all the levels of everything and stuff. But with that being said, I feel like it's always fun hearing the pairs that they decide to pair together. Whether it's like, well, let's put V and Jin's voice together, or let's do Jimin and JK, or let's get a V-Min moment, or let's get a Jungkook and Jin moment. Just hearing them play with their inflections, being able to match each other's energy, the layering. It's like you always get like a fun vocal exercise with these four vocal giants.
No, definitely. And every one of their runs feels so unique to whatever particular track. In the hundreds of songs, honestly, that we've checked out, and even whether it's karaoke's or covers or just other like extra sort of content SoundCloud things that are never really like fully release or anything, V lives, like just whenever we kind of hear their vocal runs, they really feel unique and in a vein of their own, and I just feel like that's incredible considering how often they're able to belt on tracks that they still always feel unique and different. With respect to whatever kind of they're talking about at the time. And that really is just incredible in and of itself. And honestly, just to kind of blend that idea together, I really like the fusion that Hope offers in that regard as well, where it's like, you have more of the deeper hitting kind of perhaps venting sort of aspects in the rap, cadences and flows and just the subject matter of, the lyrics, that then when you get to Hope's part, and of course he carries that, through as well in his verse, but he also has that melodic side to it, especially in the beginning where it's like, his voice got really low and almost feathery, for lack of a better term, I suppose. That then when you have, again, the four, vocal line and everything like that, they're, exceptional in their own right as well. Then you kind of blend Hope's ability to kind of rap and, sing as well. And I felt like that was a nice little fusion to kind of transition to some of the latter, vocal runs at the end as well. Like it can be challenging, I suppose, to kind of integrate, deep, hard-hitting, emotional rap, and then, having the note belt outs at the beginning, while you're not switching up the beat necessarily to kind of, it's not like you're taking out a drum pattern and adding like a slow piano or something to kind of, literally change the mood or the feeling of the song. It's the, same beat, same BPM and everything. So the way they're able to segue it, I always admire that as well. And I feel like there's such an opportunity there that Hope presents as far as his, his vocals, that can be both melodic, but also his, ability as a rapper as well.
Yeah, and I agree 1,000% because even on here is really a great example of how it worked. Like you said, sometimes, or at least what I find interesting in K-pop is kind of how quick things transition as far as like someone could be rapping, then singing can be introduced, the production can go up and the music could be blasting. It can turn into something hip hop, go right to a ballad, and then somehow jump right back to hip hop. Hope definitely is a good kind of, I don't want to call him like the fusion rapper, but just kind of like the rapper that early on seemed to be able to get the melodic stuff down a little bit faster than them two.
Ironically, even Cookie was rapping in earlier presentations of tracks as well. So it's just, ironically, I just kind of see Cookie and Hope in that sort of vein. I'd be interested to kind of hear if they had, back and forth rap or anything from those earlier times, but...
Groups and what I'm saying too isn't a lack of Sugar or RM not wanting to do that, but really so much more where like whether JK was doing it earlier or whether they have Hope doing it. You see now in a lot of K-pop how those either all-rounders or those like kind of tweeners they help so much with the in-between of tracks, because sometimes when you don't want to make those harsher transitions from, all right, the chorus is singing and now we're just getting right into rapping, you'll have someone approach the track kind of singing, turn it into a little bit of melodic, and then go right into like rapping again, to where the transition wasn't kind of just like it kind of just got you right into like the rap flow. And I think that's unique because it adds a good contrast for not stereotypical.
No, absolutely.
Fundamentals on how to make like tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. And take this kind of brief example, just thinking out loud, is like if let's just say if you're taking the Hope situation just in its own right, and let's just say you're trying to get it from singing to rap or something where it's like more melodic, and then you kind of turn up a little bit with some of the rap stuff. Like you could have it go from like should I almost be on this type time, or should I be like this? Should I forget this person, or should I, apologize to them or whatever? And then it could be like, on some like, nah, fuck that. And then you get into like your 16 and kind of just spit and vent, your aggressions. But then it could be on the other side where it's like, you're venting almost like outro tier, where it's like, I'm venting this pain, this heartbreak that I went through. And then you kind of get to that melodic side where it's like, man, I want her back, or man, I kind of want to, be on this type time. And it's just, you can fusion those things so seamlessly. Depending on, of course, the subject matter and what themes you're trying to tell, in respect to the song and the album, of course, or whatever project it's a part of. But I just like that kind of what that offers you musically. It's really like an all-in-one kind of tool. I mean, certainly with the whole all-rounder aspect, as we've certainly seen, with the group in general. But I just imagining from the writing process to the production process, like kind of the way you're able to fusion and kind of take your audience on that journey. I just think that's a unique way to kind of approach a situation like that.
Yeah, it's literally kind of the difference of being a rap group with some singers versus being like 7 artists.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Where it's just like some groups are, rappers with some singers, and then there's other groups that are just, you're all artists. Like, what I mean? You're able to kind of cultivate the music and turn it into like other things. And ironically, with them being able to do kind of these things pretty early on, it really birthed their group into being able to get into confines and different sounds that other groups in K-pop weren't even able to kind of grasp at the time, or weren't able to kind of jump into. And really, I'm not going to say revolutionize, like the sound with K-pop, but I definitely can understand how they were doing things and people wanted to jump on the wave either after or while it was going on. So it's all that to say that I just love how in these earlier first 4 projects, you get to hear kind of a lot of songs where you kind of can be like, yo, this here sounds like later on they're going to be getting into other shit, or this is kind of the beginning of literally like watching a seed grow into a flower, like blossom into like a beautiful flower.
Honestly, of course, in the retrospect, beautiful flower. Ironically, in the retrospect aspect of it, that's kind of how I felt with the whole mono aspect, where it's like, oh, okay, I'm seeing the writing themes of kind of this dark depression that you're trying to explore within the concept of Rain, and then, oh, wow, Moonchild and Forever Rain, and then kind of how that kind of was able to, come to fruition from that. And then, ironically, you even said Wildflower, which is like, what that is from mono, let's say, to so it's just the way in which kind of you're seeing those progressions is something that's certainly like Really breathtaking, honestly.
Now that's dope. Like we said, it kind of sets up a quote unquote like kind of like precursor for just things that are coming. It's like the best is yet to come. Nah, but I'm good. I like this a lot. I'm honestly want to see kind of what the live version has to like really offer for this song and just kind of see what they got into.
Yeah,
Anything
definitely.
you want to? You good?
No, I think honestly the last thing I was probably going to add was just I like the last bit of J Hope's verse as well, when it was basically talking about how 'cause it feels like there's wordplay in like regards to sound, as far as like, you know, you hear throughout the song like how, you know, the rain will sound or whatever, and I like that he kind of said how it sounds on like the lonely gray cement. Basically almost like it drowns everything out, no pun intended, with like the water aspect of everything. But it's just like things like that I found like, I'm like, that's a really good way to put it. And that's honestly kind of the exclamation point on the rap aspects of the verses before we get into some of those latter runs. So I just found that was a good line to kind of, you know, tie up some of those themes as well.
Yeah, man. You already know the vibes, man. Jump in the comments. Tell us how y'all felt about this. Hopefully, after this nice conversation, you guys are subscribed. If y'all aren't, I don't know what's going on. You guys probably watch us every Tuesday, Wednesday, well, every Tuesday and Friday, or just are here often. Sometimes y'all don't know y'all not subscribed. Take a look at that little notification joint at the bottom. Yeah, see, click on it. See, you subscribe. Welcome to the family. Also, if you like content like this, jump on the Patreon. We are literally about to jump into the live performance of this. Like I told you, it is a lot of crazy BTS content on there. We got some exclusive drops for y'all today on there and some other fun stuff up there. Some longer content as far as interviews with the Stetchy Taj on and the RM Live and Soul. A lot of dope stuff coming on this month, too. So it's a fun place. But other than that, we love you, Army. We're going to holler at y'all.
Take care.
Peace. Nice. He said, nice. I think that was Key and Pooh. Nice. He said, noise.